We just dropped a video 4 days ago talking about stop blaming players in reference to the marathon discourse. Now, yes, I have the marathon Steam charts behind me because I'm trolling. It is what it is. Get mad about it. I don't particularly care. However, Fallout co-creator made a statement that I think is very interesting. And while there is some correct parts to this, there is nuance. There's also this very big narrative online that, well, gamers are the reason why games are doing bad. And I just hate that narrative. Again, it irks me, it bothers me because I didn't code the game, I didn't develop the game, I didn't write the story, I'm not the narrative designer, the lighting, the cinematographer, whatever the case may be. I get presented with a product, and if a product is solid, I say it's great. If a product is mid, I'll say it's mid. If a product is bad, I'll say it's bad. Yes, in media, news, TV, magazines, hate campaigns happen. And they absolutely do. And you could say that there's hate campaigns for a game like Marathon. Although, are people taking some of the Marathon hate too far? Sure, maybe. But those people, again, are not the reason why Marathon failed. Highguard failed. Concord failed. And so I want to go over bits and pieces of this article. I will link it in the description below for you to read in its entirety because it's not a bad read and there is some really genuine good insight into how developers are looking at creating games, which I think is interesting and some stuff I 100% agree with. And other things, I'm like, there is some validity. However, again, now the narrative online from this article is, wow, look at them. They're killing the video games. And we're going to go over some tweets. So, as I said, Fallout Call creator says some players are told by influencers what to think rather than forming their own opinions. Now, this is a lot of times can be true, right? We live in a day and age where a lot of people consume slop. They consume any type of form of media, which is not necessarily bad, but as opposed to doing their own research to look into a topic or get informed, they go with the popular opinion. And well, that is not good because it's always good to do your own research, figure things out, and be a person to say, okay, I can weave through the bullshits of the people that I watch, what I agree with, what I disagree with. So fundamentally, there is definitely times where this can happen, right? If I'm a person with 1 million subs and I say, I don't know, something stupid, maybe it could catch some wind, but I think we're severely, and I mean severely overestimating the influence of these influencers, right? So let's pull this up. This guy made a personal video on his YouTube channel. So this was interesting about game development. Many designers like myself, we frequently thought, well, how is a certain event in the game going to look like when someone's playing it live or live recording themselves playing it to put it up as a stream? Kane explained, we thought about cinematics, we thought about end bosses, we thought about unusual weapons you can get. And because of that, we wanted it to look really good in the video. I don't think this is bad, right? Obviously, you are not trying to develop a game to just 100% please a sub-niche audience of like clippers, and like not everything needs to be made to be a clippable moment, right? But creating some sort of clippable moments to kind of make a game blow up is very solid. And well, listen, a lot of times you can kind of maybe tell when something's a little bit inauthentic and something's more authentic, right? A great game that was completely authentic with millions and tons of views and very good clippable moments would be Resident Evil 9 Requiem. I got a video coming out on that soon before the DLC comes out, hopefully. We'll see. And that's fine. I have no problem with that because it's smart, right? It's a marketing strategy. If you know, okay, they're going to get to this one part in this game and it's going to blow everyone's mind, right? I'm going to give you a little Witcher 3 spoiler here at 5, 4, 3, 2. It's been 10, 15 years. I don't know how long. But when Vesemir gets clapped, that was a clip I saw all over the place because of the lore and the genuine interest people had on that, and people were heartbroken by that. The way it was done, it was perfect. The cinematography about that scene made it feel fucking amazing, right? So this is interesting. Obviously, you want to develop a whole game just for clips and stuff. You want to still make a good game, but I like this. So, and that was one reason particle effects became a big thing, because you don't just want to go boom. You want a big explosion. You want it to be pretty and colorful and all these things, especially in a clip, because people will see that on some channel where someone's talking about the game and they see the clip like, wow, now I really want to play this game. When I read this, this is saying I want to put in effort. I want to put in something that's going to be memorable and focused. And maybe this is not the whole portion of the game, but that one thing, that little hook, It's the same thing with the intro of a video game, the intro of a TikTok or short, or at some point in your teasers, you get people in with a hook so they can experience the whole video game. So it's like they're saying they're making these games, or at least in the back of their minds, they are trying to make clippable moments for the game so that way we can get a positive reception. So that way the general consensus is, hey, this game looks really good. But now here's the other part. So now we're in the 2020s, and many gamers don't even look to influencers for reviews, he said. They look to influencers to be told how to think about the games. So people don't form opinions from the online video. They're handed an opinion from an online channel they're watching. I don't know if I fully agree with this. Again, is there going to be a subsection of the internet who does no research? Absolutely. But I disagree. I think you see tons of these video game reviewers popping up now because a lot of the places that we would potentially go to when we were children, whether it's IGN, GameSpot, whatever the case may be, they don't have that level of credibility anymore. There is not that level of, okay, I know if I'm going to IGN, I'm going to get a good review. I think they gave Crimson Desert a 6 or 7. They give a game like Where Winds Meet, which is a free-to-play, open-world, Elden Ring Souls-like-esque game with hundreds of hours of content, a 6. Because they didn't like the systems in the game, right? People have to go to different avenues to find unbiased reporting. You always find biased reporting these days, and it's unfortunate. It is what it is. It's a part of the game, but it goes both ways. So when I read this, it's like, yes, are there some people that are like that, or are there a lot of people, a very vocal minority that is like this, right? If I say, I don't know, Genshin Impact's the greatest game of all time, and I have 10 million followers, right? Let's go with that. And then out of those 10 million, about 100,000 are very vocal, and that's what they say, and they comment on every single video, and it's trends on Twitter, yada, yada, yada. That's a vocal minority, right? It's this situation of, I truly believe we're over-exaggerating this. And we're going to go through some of the cases that people are using as like a case study, and I don't think it's a very fair assessment, but it is what it is, right? So in fairness, I want to finish this part. It says, what this means is I've seen reviews going from this game has less combat and more puzzles and dialogues for you to interact with other games to this game is stupid and slow paced and made for casuals. I think you should skip it. I mean, again, someone might have the opinion of that. I don't particularly know what they're referencing here, but because that just sounds very random to me. But even if, I use someone like Asmongold, who is the biggest content creator, especially in the gaming sphere at the moment, said this about a video game. I don't think Asmongold can kill an entire video game. I don't. I'm sorry. Like, especially a AAA studio like a Marathon, right? Or a Highguard. They did that to themselves. Those are self-inflicted wounds. There's a huge difference in how games are presented, but more people are going for the latter. They're like, I don't have time. There are too many games. Just tell me whether I should buy it. Tell me if it's for me. So they find someone they like, and then that person's opinion becomes their opinion. Well, the thing is, there is a lot of games coming out. I believe Reb Ford, God bless, a fantastic developer for Warframe, made a tweet once, like 22,000 games a month or something like that on Steam, something ridiculous. Games are now more expensive. A lot of live service games are coming out and they're milking players for dollars. They're getting tired of gaming, right? It's getting to the point where it's like, brother, I don't have time to play this. I have to work. I have a life. Yes, going to your favorite content creator is not a bad thing. How would you have felt if this was like IGN? Would you? But they give you a favorable review, you wouldn't mind it. But if they gave you a bad review, I don't know how this person would feel. I'm not trying to attack bro here, but I just don't like this sentiment of, yeah, they're going to these people to pretty much get a simplistic version of it. Sometimes I don't need a 50-hour breakdown on why I like a fucking game or not. I don't. Give it to me straight. I keep it pushing. It is what it is. So we're going to go to this right here. This is where it gets interesting. This has a positive side, he said. It's easy to find someone who sides with your preferences and therefore is a good guide for you finding new games. And I've talked about that. That's how I look for game reviews myself. I look at their reviews for games I already know. If they like the ones I liked and didn't like the ones I didn't like, I will trust them going forward for new games I haven't played. But the negative is this: the more and more people seem to be abdicating their own judgment to that people they see online. It's like, I don't want to think about it. You tell me what I should think about. Again, I know that there is truth to this, but I interpreting this as someone who is frustrated with gaming. I've been playing Final Fantasy 14 lately, one of the greatest games ever created. I have my Ethan.tv, E-Thin TV channel. Go check that out. Fantastic. I'm making time for that game. The reason I'm making time for Final Fantasy 14 is because it's great. It's free trial, 300, 200 hours of a free trial content. I'm in there having fun, doing whatever. I didn't need someone online to tell me to like it. In fact, a lot of people online tell me that I shouldn't play it because of the fact that if I wanted to ever get to endgame, it's going to take me 200, 300 hours. And so it's like, yes, some people don't think for themselves and they don't buy games and they won't even play some games. But at the same time, a lot of consumers' trust has been broken. It's been broken with games like Concord, where they bought it for $40 and the game shut down. Now, granted, they got their refunds back, but Sony put $400 million into that piece of garbage. It is broken with games like Highguard. It gets fucking announced, all these other things. It's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and the game is mediocre. There's so many different games that are like that. You see the FIFA fucking gacha packs are crazy. The new WWE game is god-awful. It's shipped with bugs, horrible monetization. Call of Duty's the same shit every fucking year. People don't want to buy games. The negative state of gaming is not on the fact that people are being negative online. It's the fact that developers are not delivering on what we had before. I'm sorry. And that's just the truth. And maybe his game is great. I mean, obviously Fallout's goated. I don't know about the other one. But the negative things being more negative is because times are harder and they don't have $70 to spend on a garbage game. That's just the fucking truth, right? And I see that sometimes on this channel when I get multiple nearly identical comments from people and I realize they're just quoting an online influencer. Sometimes it's a meme, but more it's, oh, this influencer person said this thing about this and now they're just dropping a quote without any attribution in a comment. Sometimes even when it doesn't apply, which makes me go, are they understanding what the person said that or why the person said that? Concluded, concerned the future of the video game discourse if it keeps going this way. He doesn't know what the future holds. I'm curious now because it's 2026, and I have no idea what the 2030s is going to be like, he explained. I'm concerned it will go one of two ways because the pendulum always swings. Either things are going to become even more tightly controlled in bubbles, which means people will stick to this one influencer or the tiny group of influencers, and all their thoughts will be guided by these people. Or maybe the next generation is going to get tired of that, get tired of all the labeling and tired of them placing things in a box. I defined a box, and the game is in this box, and I'm not going to view it that way. I'm curious where that goes. The internet basically allows the pendulum like that to swing really far and really fast. So I don't know what the 2030s are going to be, but that's what happened with the game design online influencers and social media over the 4 or 5 years. Again, I'm going to pull up a tweet that was very interesting, right? So, genuine non-rage bait question. Can someone give me legitimate examples of amazing games being unfairly defamed by influencers and failing to sell? And opposite, absolutely awful games being praised by biased content creators and massively succeeding. Now, to make this perfectly clear, whatever word you want to use, grifters, I don't care. I don't care your politics. I don't care about your personal life. I give a fuck about none of that shit. There are absolutely hate campaigns that can be run on video games, 1,000,000%, and sometimes those can be effective for sure. But a majority of the time, the reason why a lot of games don't do good is because the game it just ain't clicking. You have a game like Ghost of Yotoi. Before I even go to the tweets, this game was treated like trash. I've never played it. I've never played Ghost of Tsushima. I don't give a fuck about it. This game went through an ungodly amount of hate. Whether you think it's justified or not justified, I do not care. But it went through an ungodly amount of hate. The VA apparently was being weird or whatever, and it sold 3.3 million copies within the first 32 days, with sales tracked up to November 2nd, 2025. Sony confirmed the game outpaced the sales of its predecessor, Ghost of Tsushima, during the same initial launch period, making it a significant commercial success. This fucking game was beaten into the ground. Everywhere I went on Twitter, it's a woman, right? Or it's woke DI slop. I don't even know. Because I don't care about this fucking game. But motherfuckers tried. They tried to say it was a failure. And this shit popped off. You want to know why? Because Twitter is not the real world. Twitter is not where every single consumer is. YouTube videos are not where every single consumer is. This is just the one thing I can come off the top of the dome. It's like, okay, this game had a really big hate campaign against it, and it was failed. It failed, right? So when you scroll through this, people say Fallout 76. I don't know why. I think Fallout 76 was just bad at launch and they got better over time. People didn't like Avowed. I mean, like, I think Avowed is a really hard genre to sell because of the fact that it's kind of in that Elder Scrolls adjacent. So it is what it is. People are saying Marathon. We've covered Marathon to the fucking times and times again. Marathon's in a niche genre, $4 entry pay. Bungie has a horrible reputation. They really don't deliver on a lot of things in a timely manner with bad communication. That is not the fault of someone making a YouTube video. It's not. Some people could do a hate campaign on it, but Marathon sold 2.2 million copies apparently, right? I believe it was 1 million on PC, and it hasn't really peaked since. That's not because of the hate campaign. Those 2.2 million people didn't watch some fucking random person's video on YouTube to hate the game. It's bullshit, right? People talk about, I don't know what Shadowhunt is. They bring up Concord. Again, Concord's a situation of, hey, listen, that game was just fucking trash. $400 million. Crimson Desert's definitely the second one. A lot of people were hating on Crimson Desert. IGN said it was bad. Tons of other outlets saying the game was bad. I'll be honest with you, I played it. I stopped playing it. The controls are just too much for me. Maybe the game is a little bit different now, but that game is dropping update after update after update, banger after banger after banger after banger. I'm just very tired of this notion that gamers hold the value or more value than the developers in what makes a game successful or not. No, fuck that. What makes a game successful is if you're able to deliver a product that can hit on all fucking fronts, fire on all cylinders, have good moments, have a good storyline, have something that is cohesive, that makes sense, that has good gameplay, brings value to me as a person, where I don't feel like I'm getting milked, my fucking udders milked, I'll buy the game. And sometimes really great games come out and they just don't succeed. And it could be a variety of reasons. It could be lack of marketing. It could genuinely just be that it wasn't hitting. It was a bad time. It was a different niche. Maybe it was a different niche, a different company, whatever the case may be. But people are not buying Marathon or not playing Marathon or Highguard because of that. Yes, there is a Concord 3.0 meme, 4.0 meme going on and around, but that Concord meme originated from the fact that gaming's in a garbage spot and that Sony's so out of touch that they made Concord. That's not my fault. Highguard failing, where it had decent gunplay and pretty solid movement, but missed on every other fucking front. That's not my fault. That's the developer's fault. So I'm tired of that bullshit. It's really annoying, and Marathon's cooked.